Afternoon all. Here we are at the house. And we're going to look at the connections to make the Parker DC motor drive run. Its catalog number is 955 plus 840100. Now the model number is a mouthful, look at that right there. But it's of the series 590. And here we have model number 590P-DRB with all of these other specifications at the end of that model number. Let's move this out of the way and we will look at the PDF hookups. Here's the hookups from the manual, and you can find these drive manuals on the internet. Go to the search engine of your choice and type the part number of the drive and the manufacturer, and about 99.9% of the time you'll come up with a PDF manual for the item you're working on. Now, it's a little bit daunting looking at all of this right here. So I'm going to put my drawings up, which are a little bit easier to understand than all of this right here. There are 3 connectors for control, and they're labeled connector A, connector B, and down here out of the screen, we'll see it in a little bit, connector C. Now, from connector A, here's A1, connector A, pin 1, here down here's connector A, pin 9. Over here is connector B, pin 1, and so on to B, pin 9. We'll get down there out of the screen in a little bit. The speed reference, we have plus and minus 10 volts for our speed reference. They're on connector B, pins 3 and 4. So I put the wings of a 10K potentiometer on B3 and B4. The wiper of the 10K potentiometer goes up to A4, connector A, pin 4. That's analog input 3. Now the data sheet says that from B3, which is plus 10 volts reference, up to connector A6 is our current limit input. And now when I first ran this drive, it would not run unless I connected that. So make sure you got that connected, otherwise your motor's not going to run. Connect connector A6, A pin 6 to connector B pin 3. Now let's move down to the rest of the control. Okay, here on connector B pin 8 and B pin 9 is program stop and coast to stop. We have to tie those up to connector C pin 9. That's plus 24 volts. We have to connect connector C pin 5 to connector C pin 9 plus 24 volts. C5 is our enable. Over here on connector C pin 1 and C pin 2 are an external trip. You have to jump that out. On connector C pin 3 is our start switch. Now you saw in the video when I closed that start switch, we heard a ka-chunk. Well, that ka-chunk was the 3-phase line contactor energizing, applying that voltage to the SCRs. And that's this switch right here. When we close that, 24 volts from connector C pin 9 is applied to connector C pin 3. Now there's all the controls to make that drive run. Now we're going to look at the power connections. Okay, we're almost done. This is the last page. You like my drawing of my motor with field? Here's the little brushes right here. Oh, don't fall down, paper. Here's my field winding. There's my armature A1 and A2. That's a pretty motor, isn't it? So, the armature windings, we have some lugs right here. A plus and A minus. They connect. Oh, I'm going to lose my page here. Don't fall on the floor. I'm trying to talk. And so A plus goes to the armature connection here, and A minus goes to the armature connection here. Here's our armature in the middle. The field winding that makes the north-south magnetic poles is separately excited in this motor right here. We have F plus and F minus. That's our motor connections right here. Yeah, all of these other connections right here I did not connect. These connections right here go out to the blower motors. I wasn't worried about that. FL1 and FL2 are inputs, but our drive was set up to take the line and convert it to the field windings. There's a jumper selection. You can see that in the PDF when you download it, whether your connections are to power up the field or from an external voltage or from the line voltage. The auxiliary contact right here, I did not connect that. Now let's go down and see what we have to do to power up the control. There's two things we're concerned with here on connector TB3. There's an L and an N connection. We bring 120 volts AC single phase into L and N, and that powers up the control voltage. And down here we have a thermal connection. That's our motor thermal, and I just jumped it out instead of using the motor thermal. The motor that I had no thermal on it, so I just jumped this out with a piece of jumper wire. Now down here we have L1, L2, and L3 lugs. I applied 220 volts AC 3-phase, and that's applied across the SCRs to power that A plus and A minus armature voltages. Now, the data plate for this drive said I could use 220 volts AC to 500 volts AC 3-phase. Well, there you go, folks. There it is. That is the hookups for the Parker DC motor drive. Thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate it when you come over and see what we're doing next. Have a good day, folks. Take care of each other if you can. We'll see you next time.